Hi, welcome back to the workshop for the final episode of the TV Yellow Les Paul Junior build. Now, I've got an awful lot of ground to cover in this episode, so I'm just going to crack on, get the guitar put together, and then we can have a listen to it at the end. And there it is, all put together. The assembly was quite straightforward, there's very little on these, but in terms of setup, that is probably the easiest setup I've done in a very long time. I set the neck dead straight when I leveled the frets, and stringing it up has pulled 12th hour of relief into the neck, which is spot on for me, especially for a guitar like this, because this is something I'll probably be hitting quite hard, so I need that little bit of extra relief in there. The action at the moment is set really, really low for me. That is probably a mil on both E strings, but there's no rattles or anything. Obviously this is still fresh out the box, so it will settle, so that might have to change as we go forward, but so far everything's spot on. Plays nicely. Intonation, I know I'm only doing it with this crappy tuner, but the 12th fret harmonics are all pretty much spot on, and considering it's a wraparound tailpiece, I'm very, very happy with that. Took minimal adjustment to get it like that as well. Really was very straightforward. And I suppose that's just the way it goes really. Sometimes they're an absolute pig, and sometimes they just fall into place. And happily, this fits into the latter category. So all we've got to do now Let's turn it over, sort a bit of wiring out. I've just dropped these pots out of the body to make this a little bit easier for myself, but it's a quite straightforward wiring situation here. All I need to do is this hot from the pickup needs to be soldered into this lug here, which is quite straightforward. I need to ground this shielding and this bridge wire onto the pot as well, and job's a good one. So hopefully this won't take very long at all. And in theory, that should be that. There's only one way to find out though. We'll just drop these controls back in the body and see if we get any noise out of this thing. Well, that all appears to work wonderfully. So next up is we need to flip this back over again, just button up the control cavity, and it's time for a demo. Okay, and there it is, finished. Just come out very, very nicely. I'm really happy with it. In terms of the build itself, I think everything's gone pretty well. Especially happy with the finish. I think it just looks really, really nice, and I'll try and get some closer in shots of that. Now it's got all the stuff on it, it just looks the business. It's set up amazingly well. It plays really quite nicely to say that it's only been put together a few hours. I'm really shocked at the intonation. It is pretty much spot on, and that really isn't something that happens with these wraparound bridges too often. So I don't know what I've done there. It's more luck than judgment, but very, very happy with that nonetheless. Anyway, enough of me blathering on. There's only one thing we need to do now. And I think for this one, there's only one tool for the job, and that's my Big Marshall, or Varshall as it says there. This is a 1977 JPM 100. Now I've had a little go already, and I just hope I can do justice to the sound that's coming out of this with the recording equipment that I've got, because it sounds absolutely lush. Apart from my dodgy playing, I think that sounds all right. And I especially like the way with these P90 pickups that you can roll back the volume and tone a little bit and kind of get a much cleaner sound. And they're also very responsive to your picking. So if you kind of pick softly, you'll get a nice clean sound. But if you dig in a little bit more, it will start to break up. You might think that with only one pickup, one volume and one tone, you're not going to have a very versatile guitar. But I think that's far from the truth. If you mess around with the controls a little bit, you really can squeeze an awful lot of different sounds out of these things. All in all, I'm very happy with this build. I'm happy with the way it looks, I'm happy with the sound it makes, and it's been a really fun project for me and I've enjoyed doing it. I really hope that you've enjoyed following along. If so, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll be back with a brand new project very soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.